Hello there everyone, I hope you all are having a good day and surviving the current pandemic that's striking the world. We have a wonderful aviation news this week video for you today, and I woke up to this scene this morning. That is right, I woke up to the scene of snow covering the ground. That's right, we got about 2 inches of snow today on April the 17th. You're probably going to see this video a day or two after I record this, but we had snow, that's right. It's mid-April and we got 2 snows in 3 days, and we also had a thawed snow in between that didn't accumulate. So it's been snowing. That's why I haven't been able to get to the new airport yet, but don't worry, that will be coming along. We do have a bunch of great news for this week, and I also want to show you some submissions that were sent by you guys, you fellow aviation photographers out there. If you want to submit your own pictures, there's an email link in the description. You send your pictures there. Please send the pictures with registration, airport, and date they were taken on. And if you have any other descriptions you want to add to it, feel free to do so. But first off, we have this lovely little picture here of a Singapore A350-900 in the 10,000th Airbus aircraft special livery. This one is registered as 9 Victor-0 Mike Foxtrot, and it was taken in 2017 by Drew's Aviation. He didn't say what the exact date was, but taking a look at the picture, this appears to be very late summer, early fall. As you can see, the grass and such and the tree branches are dying off. So this is probably late summer, early fall. I would say September, October time. Probably around Houston's October, more like maybe November, but late fall time, probably fall. And then the next image that we have up is by ACS 777X. He submitted some pictures. You'll see another one of his pictures again on a news item, as well as, in fact, all 3 people submitted pictures. They have 2 pictures in this week. They have one here in the highlighted images, and then one later in the news. So the first one here we have is of a KLM 747 Papa Hotel Bravo Foxtrot uniform taken on the 9th of December 2018 at Chicago O'Hare by ACS 777X. Fantastic descriptions you sent with your pictures. Thank you very much for sending that over. And the image is good too. Also, if you submit your pictures, just be fairly warned that I will be reviewing them and sending you an email back. So, please don't send me your trashy iPhone pictures. Those will not be accepted. I want quality images. And if you think your images are good enough, go ahead, submit them. You never know, they might make them onto the show. The third one we have here is of a Blue Angel aircraft. This is number 6, taken at Naval Air Station Pensacola during their spring training session. This picture was taken on the 8th of April 2020, and this was taken by C Wayne 33 on Instagram. He submitted this picture over, and you'll see some more of his pictures in the future as well, because his are really good. So don't forget to check him out on Instagram. He's got incredible military photography, and this picture here is no different. Fantastic picture, and as I mentioned earlier, he'll have another picture of his on the show later as it deals with one of the news items. So very fantastic submissions that you guys sent in this week. If you have some pictures you want to submit of your own, email link in the description, send them, and they might make them onto the show. We also have some jet photos, pictures too as well, some highlight images of those. I really would love it if at some point all the email submissions that I get are just as high quality as these. I mean, the pictures that you guys send in were really good, and I guarantee you that this community can send in some fantastic pictures. I've seen what you guys can do on like Discord and Instagram, so I'm sure you guys will send in great pictures, and maybe I won't even have to use jet photos or Airlines.net in the future. That'd be fantastic if I could just have entirely user submitted photos for Aviation News this week. That'd make it a lot simpler for copyright reasons. Anyway, next up, we have a highlight image here of a Embraer KC-390. This is their new twin-jet military C-130-ish replacement aircraft they are trying to sell to the world. This is a Papa Tango Zulu November Juliet, taken on the 25th of October 2019. And you can see here it is performing a flare and chaff test flight. They're currently testing this aircraft, and then it will be delivered to several air forces around the world, including the Brazilian Air Force. Next picture, we have the really cool reflection shot, and this one is of a Dassault Falcon 2000 registered as Charlie Sierra India Hotel Papa. This one is taken in Portugal, and this is a really cool shot taken on the 3rd of November 2019. I really like these pictures where there's like the aircraft and then it's reflecting on water. There were a couple more on jet photos I'll probably share in the upcoming weeks that are really nice as well. These are really rare shots and difficult to get, mostly because you have to have a pool of water that you can get a full reflection of the aircraft in. That's not necessarily really easy, and I think those pictures are really interesting. I just really like looking at them. Next up, we have another really interesting flight picture, and this is of 3 aircraft in flight. No, this is not a Photoshop. This is actually a real picture. If I may read the description real quick for you. It's a long one, but let's get reading. And it says, being a flight instructor and photographer has its perks every so often. This photo was taken while we were en route from Port Elizabeth to East London on an Eagle Air flyaway. Zulu Sierra Charlie Bravo Bravo was crewed by Julie and Kagan. Zulu Sierra November Tango Oscar was flown by Anita and Felipe, and Zulu Sierra Sierra Whiskey Yankee had Amhead and Dameen at the controls. Sorry if I butchered any of your names. Kind of what happens sometimes. I was on board the Piper Cherokee 180, Zulu Sierra Lima Sierra Charlie, and Diana as the PIC, Pilot in Command. Is that what that stands for? This photo is dedicated to all those who went on this flyaway. Thank you to everyone for making it the best one yet. I can't wait for the next one, and hopefully with more formation opportunities like this one. So this picture is of a formation flight of aircraft. As you can see here, there's Piper and a couple Cessnas, and I just really like the description for the picture, and this is a really interesting experience that people will do formation flying in general aviation aircraft. I just think that's really cool, and I wanted to share that picture with y'all. Alright, so we have a bunch of news this week. It's not all negative news. I have sprinkled in some actual positive news in here as well. But it is mostly negative, although I do actually believe that finally about this week we're actually getting to the worst of the worst news. So there are still probably going to be some airlines and stuff that collapse. Airlines like Alitalia and South African are probably going to go under. But that's kind of what happens. But I think overall, news-wise, we're getting to the worst of it right now. And I think overall it'll steadily improve. So, getting to that, we have this picture here, which is taken in San Bernardino, California by Andrew Hunt. He has a lot of really good photos on Airlines.net. Go check him out if you haven't. But this picture is a little overview of the airport taken from the air, probably from a helicopter. You can see a bunch of Delta aircraft and a bunch of other aircraft. But this is one of Delta's main 2 facilities they send aircraft to for retirement. The other one is Batesville, Arkansas. And here you can see they have a bunch of 76s and MD-80s and MD-90s being stored. You can also see an ANA 767, 320. There is an Etihad 222, a couple of AR A330s, and a Thai A330. I think that's an A330, yes. Anyway, a bunch of aircraft here just being retired, and this is what's going to happen. The 76s, the MD-8s, the MD-90s, they're going. And you can also see there's a Delta A320 there as well being retired. And one thing you may notice is that some parts of the aircraft get taken off first. So for example, like the radars on the nose of the aircraft get taken off, mostly because of a safety reason, because those are actually really dangerous. If they accidentally get turned on, they would instantly, they pretty much kill you real quick just from radiation. And the engines get taken off, as those are very valuable pieces of scrap metal. So those get taken off first, and then eventually the aircraft gets cut up. So I just thought that was an interesting picture, and I wanted to share that with y'all. Next up, we have very sad news. This was actually a really big surprise. Qantas all of a sudden just decided to retire all their 747s. And if you're hearing a weird sound, that's a toilet flushing in the background, so sorry about that, not much I can do there. But here we have a picture of Victor Hotel, that's Oscar Echo Echo, and this picture was taken on 29th of March 2020, and this aircraft was flying the last flight of a Qantas 747. This was really all of a sudden. They just instantly announced that they were retiring the 747s. This aircraft was a 747-438ER, and I don't remember where this aircraft was coming in from, but it came into Sydney, and then the 747 was retired. I believe Qantas had like 12-ish, 8 to 12 747s left, and then they just retired them because of the pandemic. So that is really, really sad news. But it is what it is. You'll see that happen a couple more times. Next up, we have some retirement news for American Airlines, and that is they have announced major fleet realignments. They will be retiring their entire 757-76 fleet. I think I covered that in last week's episode, if you want to go see that. And then they also announced they will be retiring 76 737s. That's a lot. They're the older ones. They're the original ones that they got from around 2000 to 2004. Most of them were delivered without winglets. There were a few in that batch that were delivered with winglets. In fact, American was the first airline to get 737 NGs with winglets, so that's a fun fact for you. And then Southwest also was early in there too. They will also be retiring their entire fleet of 20 ERJ-190s. That was expected to happen this year anyway, but they're just going to retire them just a little bit sooner than expected. And then this is kind of a surprise, 9 A330-300s. So they're retiring the first batch that US Airways got in like the early 2000s. Most of them that they have are newer. They were delivered in the late 2000s, early 2010s, with the last one being delivered in 2013. But they are retiring their 9 old ones, and the A330-200s are probably going to go soon as well. So that is a really, really sad news there with all the aircraft being retired. In case you're wondering about this picture, these are 737s being stored at DFW Airport on one of their main runways. And you'll see now a lot at airports, they're just using a runway as a storage facility because so many other places are full. So Tulsa's storage facilities are full, so they're sending 737s instead of DFW. Next up, we have this picture here. This is actually a really good picture of Delta-Alpha India Golf uniform. It is a Lufthansa new livery A340-313 taken at Miami on March 11th, 2020. So kind of as the pandemic was really starting to get into shape. Lufthansa has put into storage their entire A340 fleet. I showed that a week or two ago in a picture. They're being stored at, I believe it's Frankfurt on one of the main runways. It's Frankfurt or Munich. And they have also announced a retirement fleet plan. So this will include the retirement of 6 A380s. I believe that leaves 8 of them left in their fleet. They will be retiring 7 A340-600s. This leaves like only 3 or 4 left in the whole fleet. Not very many. They won't have many A340-600s left. And they'll be retiring 5 747-400s. This will leave only 8 left in their fleet. They had 13 before the pandemic. Only 8 will get out. As much as I don't want to say it, don't be surprised if Lufthansa ends up retiring their entire A340 fleet and their entire 747-400 fleet by the time this whole thing's over. It's very sad, but it seems very likely as airlines are looking to save as much money as possible, and quad jets are just really expensive to operate. So airlines are choosing to go without these aircraft. As awesome as these aircraft are, and I really want them to stay around for a while, a lot of airlines just choosing that it's not worth it cost-wise to keep them around, which is sad news, but it's kind of the reality we live in right now. We do, though, have some interesting positive news, and that is, over here, that KLM has announced that they will be bringing 2 747-400s out of retirement for carrying medical supplies and other emergency cargo flights. As you may know, they do have some 747-400 freighters. They don't have very many, but they will be bringing 2 of the passenger 747s back. Now, something that a lot of people don't know is those were 747 combis. Even the passenger ones weren't fully passenger versions. If you take a look at the back of the aircraft, take a look at a picture of a KLM 747 sometime, and you'll see a little cutout there for a large cargo door. Well, that is actually a large cargo door built into the frame of the aircraft. And the aircraft can be very quickly, within only a couple of hours, be converted into a freighter. So what will happen is the majority of the back of the aircraft will be used for carrying freight, and then the front half is only used for carrying passengers. KLM will be converting 2 of these aircraft, including the one pictured here by ACS 777X of Papa Hotel Bravo Foxtrot Tango, will be brought back from retirement and will be used for cargo services. Ironically, this was also the aircraft that flew the last KLM 747 commercial flight, but it's possible you might see 1 or 2 of these flying around again sometime soon, which is really exciting. That some aircraft get to come back from the grave. That doesn't happen too often. Alright, next up, we have this really interesting picture of a bunch of Spirit A320s. I believe these are 320 Neos. This aircraft pictured here is November 923 November Kilo. I believe, yes, this is an A320-271. And you can see just 6 banana buses lined up there. That's a really cool picture. You're seeing more shots like this, and I like to share them because I find them very interesting. And keep in mind, after the pandemic's done, well, we won't see pictures like this probably for a while. This is just extraordinary. So this is a really interesting picture, and this one is at an airport called Fort Worth Alliance Airport. So this is like the secondary DFW airport. I'm not too familiar with this airport, but it's really interesting that they're storing them here. Spirit has not ceased operation. However, there are some airlines that have. So for example, Jetblue has announced a temporary suspension of all commercial services. This will be effective immediately. You will still see some Jetblue aircraft flying around, but keep in mind they're not flying normal domestic flights. You can't, for example, just book a flight to fly on Jetblue tomorrow. So there's that happening. This picture, by the way, is taken, interestingly enough, at Atlanta. It's of November 794 Juliet Bravo. It's of one of their newer tails. This is like the bubble one, or the balloons. I think it's the balloons one. And then this picture here is really interesting of a WestJet 737. This is their lineup at Calgary. They are, again, for this picture, using a runway. And if I may read the description, I won't say the name of the pandemic because, well, I don't want this video to get suppressed. But due to the, we'll call it situation, runway 0826 at Calgary International Airport has been closed for aircraft storage. The 26 and is occupied by a very number of WestJet 737s, end quote. This is a very cool lineup. Let's see if I can count these real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 737s just parked there. I really like WestJet's livery, both old and new. But it's interesting to see that they have stored these aircraft here. Also, WestJet has announced that they will be laying off 1,700 pilots. 1,700 pilots will be without jobs. Ooh, that is really tough. If you just got a job with WestJet, like in the last year, you're probably getting laid off because of how seniority works with airlines. This is just a really sad time. If you just recently got your certification as a captain or a first officer, it's not a good day to have recently gotten your certification because you're probably losing your job. And this is not just happening at WestJet, it's happening at United, as we'll cover later as well. Next up, Allegiant has also announced that they are suspending all services. Now, this is not too big of a surprise, as Allegiant kind of operates a really interesting schedule. One of the things that they try to do is they try to make it so that all the employees can go home at the end of the day to their families. So this means that they have to work the schedule around to make that work. Because usually when pilot, flight attendant, whoever it is, who's on these aircraft goes out, they're usually out for a week, 2 weeks, something like that, and then they don't get to return home till then. But Allegiant has their schedule worked so that all the employees can return home at the end of the day. So that's kind of why their schedules are a little unique. Alright, so this is a really interesting picture. So this is an interesting thing here. This picture is taken at Victorville. You've probably heard of this airport, very famous airport. This picture was taken on the 4th of October 2019. And there's a bunch of aircraft here, not just Allegiant MD-90s. That's not MD-90, those are MD-88s. Anyway, they had MD-8s, MD-82s, MD-83s. They had a lot of them. There's also, you can see a FedEx 727 there. A bunch of FedEx aircraft like A300s, MD-11s, DC-10s, MD-10s, A3. There's some A300s in there too, I think. There's a not Lufthansa, but a United 747 right there in the right corner. There's also a pair of Baltic Gray 76s for United you can see around. There is also, down near the bottom of that line of Allegiant MD-80s, is a Frontier, I believe it's a Frontier 737-200. That thing has to have been sitting there for like 20 years. They retired those back in like 2005, something like that. You can see up on top, you can see some more United and British Airways 747s. Do not focus on the 747 that is currently in the process of being cut up along with our 767 brethren. There's also an Aerolíneas Argentinas A340. There's another A340. I don't recognize the airline right next to it. And there's just a bunch of interesting aircraft. I just find these pictures really interesting to look at. So if you want to look at these, feel free. As always, you can look at these pictures. This one's on the Airlines.net. Next up, Virgin Atlantic has also announced that they will be ceasing operations temporarily. This is due to the pandemic, with obviously the United States closing travel between all of Europe and all of America. That's basically the entire Virgin Atlantic market, so it makes sense that they close down. And then, before we get to the final news item, we have one last picture here by C. Wayne 33, and this is of the Blue Angel Delta formation. This picture was taken on the 10th of April 2020 during their spring training at Pensacola Naval Air Station. This is a really great picture, again, as all the pictures he submitted actually this time were great, and you'll see them throughout news stories. But one of the things for all you airso enthusiasts out there, of which I am one of them, is that the airsos have been cancelled, many of them, particularly early on, up to about June. All the airsos until then have been sadly cancelled. And the big one, the biggest airshow in North America, is the Oshkosh International Airshow, held in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, every year. It's sponsored by the EAA. It's one of the biggest airshows in the world. And fun fact, during the days of the airshow, during that week, it is the world's busiest airport. Busier than Atlanta, busier than O'Hare, busier than London Heathrow, or any airport you can name. Oshkosh becomes the busiest airport in the world. And that's just pretty cool. So, that is the big one that could get canceled. They are apparently taking a look into it. And it could be a thing that could happen. If Oshkosh gets canceled, that's not going to be great. But it'll be kind of what it is. So, despite the fact that these airshows getting canceled, these teams still have to practice. So you're still seeing the Navy practice. I mean, the U.S. military is still going to be ready to take care of any threat that happens. Well, we're not any less prepared than we were before. So there is that. Alright, so we do have another news item here, and that is that I think things are actually hitting rock bottom. And there's some evidence with that, particularly for the airline industry. And we have this lovely picture here by Drew's Aviation of a United 737-800, November 14249. And this picture was taken on the 11th of January 2020. Now, United has made some interesting reports. One of them is that they estimate to carry as many passengers in May of 2020 as they did on a single day in May of 2019. That is just how low they're expecting capacities to be. So basically, we're looking at 1/30th or 1/31st the popularity and capacities that it was only a year ago. So that's just how much the pandemic is affecting things. United has also applied for $5 billion in stimulus money. American has applied for $12 billion. I don't know what the other airlines have applied for, but it's a lot of money. Also, United has apparently been considering the retirement of the 757 and 767s. If they would choose so, the retirement would be immediate. So that is another aircraft, another legendary aircraft we could all of a sudden lose. So I hope that doesn't happen. But in this current time, it is entirely possible. And even though it seems dark and bleak right now, I guarantee you, things will get better. You just need to be patient, hold on, and things will get better. And on to a rumor. So I have it on good authority from a very reliable source that Allegiant is working on a new special livery. The picture that you're seeing up on your screen now is of a picture that I took of the Las Vegas Golden Knights aircraft. I was one of the only people to see it, ironically. I don't normally get to see a new livery early, but it came into Des Moines and I was able to get some pictures of it. But the Las Vegas Golden Knights livery isn't the only special livery they've been working on. I have it on good authority that Allegiant is working on a new Las Vegas Raiders livery. It's called Allegiant Stadium, and it's host of the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's very likely that they are going to put a livery painted on aircraft. And I had someone who gave me information saying that it is going to happen. I don't know exactly what the date is or anything like that. If I had to predict, I would say it will be happening in the summertime. Obviously, this whole situation with the current pandemic is going to probably delay it, but it'll probably come out late summer, just in time for the main sports season in the fall. So that'll probably be happening, so stay tuned. If that livery does come out, you can remember that I said it was going to happen. Anyway, we're on to the final news bit, and there is some positive news that I've been sprinkling that throughout, and that is that there is still one new livery that came out in the last 2 weeks. It is this one on your screen right now. It is a Saudi Arabian Airlines 777-368ER, registered as Hotel Zulu-Alpha Kilo 42, and this is in a special G20 special livery. So, as you may know, Saudi Arabia is in the group of 20, basically some of the world's largest economies. G20 particularly because of Saudi Arabia's huge oil fields. And they have a special livery for it that they just painted. And it's really cool that there's actually now a special livery out there during the time of the pandemic. So that is really, really nice that there is something new to take a look at. Something new flying that's really cool to see. So, if you're looking to do some spotting, assuming you don't break the law, because getting out of the house now can be illegal in some states. I'm looking at you, Michigan. It's really interesting to see some new aircraft. So if you want, go spot this new 777. So that is it for the pandemic. I do have some interesting news for the channel. So March was the best month of the channel yet by far. I'm going to have some statistics up on the screen right now as you're looking through the video. And the month of March was by far insane. Obviously, that was the month that the Aviation 18 interview came out. I was uploading daily during part of that as well. And it was just a really good month. I want to thank you to all the new viewers and subscribers who are on the channel. There were 66 of you who clicked that sub button and stay subbed. So thank you very much for that, guys. We also had a ton of views, a ton of watch hours, and all of that broke my record. Like, every single one of those stats that you're seeing there is twice as much as the best month ever before was. So this has definitely been a really, really good month for the channel. I want to thank you all for your incredible support. Thank you all for watching the videos. I really would like to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's been my personal goal. Don't know if it's going to happen, but if we could make it happen, that'd be amazing. It's you guys who do it. So thank you to every single one of you who watches these videos, enjoys these videos. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.